Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent, and I am continuing this deep dive into the campaign setting of Ravenloft. Ravenloft is much larger than just Barovia and the Vampire Strahd, so let's take a look at some other domains of dread, specifically the realm of Lamordia and why it's important. But first, a cool breeze rolls in, disturbing the dark, stale air. The harsh click of bone on stone resonates through the silent room. It walks by with slow, uneven steps, and white teeth rattle in the bony maw of the Lich. And its fiery eyes glow and pulse with a ghastly green light. Long, flowing emerald robes disguise its skeletal figure, but the exposed hands and face dispel any misconception. This being is not alive. So that is today's sponsor. That was some tabletop RPG flavor text from Describe. Now, Describe offers what they call finely crafted box text, and they're really serious about it. So you search for a location, a mood, a monster, a spell, and you'll find loads of flavor text to read off for your players, setting the mood for the encounter or maybe the whole campaign. Now, there is some serious great stuff here, and I've been using it just for inspiration, for scenes for an upcoming D&D game. So check out their site, as there are plenty of free flavor text to be used, but if you want to support their team of writers, you can also subscribe. Now stay tuned till the end of this video and I'll reveal a special promo. Thanks again, Describe. The domains of dread, where do I start? I mean, there are so many. On top of the core domains, there are the Islands of Terror, and after that, various clusters and pockets of Ravenloft demiplanes. Like, they don't run out of room on a map, but they finally just said, whatever, it's locked away in magic. Now, these domains exist all on their own, and you could play traveling through them or use them kind of like a mini-campaign setting. After all, the Strahd campaign stayed within the boundaries of Barovia. Starting off, let's talk about Lamordia. I was originally going to put 2 or even 3 domains of dread into a single video, but Lamordia became so interesting that it now gets its own video. Now, this is a coastal domain in the northwestern section of the core. It is cold with harsh winds, and ice builds up in the harbors, and occasionally these ice floes will slide into the rocky shore. Now, spring brings little comfort, with rain that washes the roads into a river of deep mud. Mosquitoes fill the air and bite incessantly. Uniquely, this domain of dread reaches into the Sea of Sorrows, which is the large ocean to the west of the core. Islands to the north are part of Lamordia and include the Island of Demise and the Isle of Agony. The Isle of Agony has a number of rumors associated with it, which keeps the locals away. Now, some believe there is a man-eating sea monster living there, and most of the locals call the island the Devil's Domicile. I don't see why it needs a nickname of Devil's Domicile when Isle of Agony is pretty bad. As a D&D adventurer, I would be more willing to explore the Devil's Domicile than the Isle of Agony. At least the devil might have some magic items. The native Lamordians don't believe in the gods, or if they do, they believe the gods long ago left man to fend for themselves. Each dark domain in Ravenloft has a Dark Lord, and that Dark Lord could be somewhat in control of the domain. Now in Barovia, the Dark Lord is the vampire Strahd von Zarovich, Barovia being his prison. To talk about Lamordia's Dark Lord, we need to first go over the history of how Lamordia came to be a part of Ravenloft. Dr. Victor Mordenheim, a brilliant scientist, set out to study non-magical resurrection. He strongly disliked magic, saying it was just a diversion from the truth. Now, this resurrection study morphed into a passion to actually create human life. 13 years later, he accomplished his goal and created Adam. Now, Adam is a monster stitched together from dead bodies, each part perfect, but the whole grotesque. He has gray skin and is very thin, with black hair. And when the creature first breathed life, the dark mists sensed it and started moving towards Lamordia, the dark powers taking an interest there. Somehow, in the life-giving process by Dr. Mordenheim, unknowingly, Adam was infused with an evil spirit. The creature, with the mind of a child, was raised by Dr. Mordenheim and his wife, Elise. As Adam grew older, he became increasingly cruel. And to combat this, Dr. Mordenheim adopted an orphan girl named Eva. It is a testament to Mordenheim's unknowing cruelty that his purpose was not to give Eva a better life, but Adam a friend, to help socialize the monster. Adam lashed out one night, attacking Mordenheim's wife, Elise, and kidnapping Eva. It was at this moment the mists took Lamordia, and Adam was to be the Dark Lord of this domain of dread. Adam and Dr. Mordenheim are linked, and despite Adam being so angry, he cannot bring himself to kill his maker. When Dr. Mordenheim is attacked, they actually both feel the pain. Sadly, Elise was dying. She would not survive this attack, but the doctor set about his new task, which was keeping his wife alive. Although not lucid, her body is being kept alive by strange machines that Dr. Mordenheim created. He searches now for new body parts to craft Elise a brand new body. Roaming Lamordia at night could result in a number of creatures that might attack you. Perhaps you'll run into a flesh golem, one of Dr. Mordenheim's experiments that escaped. Or you might run into Adam himself. The AD&D 2nd Edition Ravenloft campaign setting has a bit of information on Lamordia with Dr. Victor, his wife, and Adam, but if you really want a feel for this domain of dread, there is an adventure called Adam's Wrath that takes place in Lamordia. Now, in this adventure, Dr. Mordenheim has changed his focus from creating flesh golems to cloning. Using single cells, he hopes to bring back his wife's original body. Of course, experiments need to be done, and your player characters will probably find some discarded monstrosities roaming around Victor's home. Adam's Wrath is a fun adventure, searching for clues and exploring Lamordia. With Mordenheim and Adam linked, it can be difficult to kill them. Plus, there is the fear that the cloning process was successful, and perhaps Mordenheim can never truly die. In 1994, there was a novel published on this setting called Mordenheim. I still need to get that D&D book club going. It seems to hold more history and information on both Victor Mordenheim and his creation, Adam. If you are curious about any of these resources, there are links in the description to all the Ravenloft material I used for this video. Is Lamordia the domain for you and your party? Will they survive Adam's Wrath? Obviously, this is a take on the Frankenstein monster story, just like Strahd was a take on Dracula. I only hope that at the end of Adam's Wrath, when he jumps from the cabin window upon the ice raft which lay close to the vessel, and the waves pull him into the darkness, I hope you listen to his final words. It's okay if you just call me Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein's monster. I don't really mind. Into the mist you continue on your journey, unsure of what you might find. An inky darkness shrouds everything in impenetrable shadows, and even the air itself seems to darken with floating mites and spores. Skeletal trees creak in a chill, rasping wind, and in the patterns of their bark you see grinning skulls and shadowed eyes. You move as quickly as you dare through the dark expanse, and finally, you see your destination before you. Thank you again, Describe, for sponsoring this video. You can head to their website and check it out for yourself by going to describe.com/Jordan with a PH in the middle. Now, the first 50 people that use the coupon code Jordan with a PH in the middle, that's JORPHDAN, and register for a subscription, you will get $7 off. It's a great resource and inspiration for you to set the tone of your campaign, which Ravenloft benefits from greatly. Link in the description below. Next week, more Ravenloft with more domains of dread to explore. Thank you, patrons, for supporting the channel, and thanks again, Describe. I'll see you all in the next video.